Hello there, it's Moira McDonald. A wee craft with me, but it's not really anything, well, it's nothing new. It's something you all know only too well. You've probably seen it before, but it's just how I do it. I did, as you'll know, I did the Boho journal quite recently, which was very, very well received, I have to say. So a couple of folk had asked me how I did Boho beads, so I thought I would run you through basically how I tackle it. I'm using a head pin, simply because I'm going to add another wee dangle to the bottom of it. It's quite a long head pin. I'm not sure in terms of length. Give me just a wee second, I'll see if I can find my trusty ruler. Don't think I'm finding my ruler without banging the camera. Or dropping the ruler on the floor. Hold on. I'm a walking disaster. Right, in terms of inches, this particular pin is probably got an extension of something like 2.5 inches. So what I start with is I'm going to put my bead I want to be seen at the bottom. Then I'm going to add a little spacer bead. Now I know a lot of folk use tubes of some description. I've got a ton of glass pearls and they are just the right size as far as I'm concerned for giving me something to wrap my fabric round. So I'll put my glass pearls there, I'll add another spacer bead and add the next bead that I want to be seen at the top. So that's basically, whoa, there you go, that's my bead that I've got at the moment. Then what I do is, hopefully holding that tight, fold that over with the intention of making that my loop. Now I'm not very good at the loops, I have to say, but I'll do my best. So what I do is basically just twist and twist until I've got it as tight as I can, well not so much as tight as I can, but in the position that I want it. And what I'll do is like that. Whoa. Then from here we've got our wee bit of sari silk, that's what I'm going to be using, and I'm just going to use, because I know I'll be using ultimately, some wire on this, I'm not overly worried about how tightly I'm going to be sticking this. I mean, I want to kind of make sure it holds it in place, but I've done nothing but basically stick my fingers together all weekend by doing these. So rather than doing that, what I'm going to do is take my sari silk using this particular glue. I had been using Fabri-Tac because it's quite good at holding things, but the problem with Fabri-Tac is it also holds your skin very, very good. So I don't want to do that. Now you just wrap your sari silk up and down your bead like that. I don't want it to cover the bead that's at that end, because obviously that's going to be my featured bead that's on show. Right, I think I've got a big lump here where the sari's been added to the next bit, so we're going to cut that before we reach that. Oh, with those scissors there, and I think we'll take another wee bit of glue and we'll try and stick that to hold it in the interim. My glue's nearly done in this bottle. Well, it's not really, it's just, you know what it's like with glue, you think it's nearly done, but if you've got the patience of a saint to hold it upside down for long enough, you're absolutely fine. Right, that's going to have to do me just now. The next thing I want to do is I want to take some wire. This says it's 0.5 millimeters. Now you don't need an enormous piece of wire here, but you need enough to go up and down your bead, so I think that'll do me. I'm also going to be wrapping it round to hold it in place. I'll tell you roughly it's very nearly 9 inches what I've cut. The first thing I want to do is get it round the end here. So I'm putting it just below the spacer bead, if you can see that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start wrapping. Now I have, oh wait a minute, I'm going to use my pliers here to stick that in. Just the very end of it to make sure it's not jagging out anywhere, if we can avoid that. Should be able to tighten it in enough that it's out the way. Right, that'll do us, I think. Right, now what I did was I added some sequins to the ones that I did. There's another bead that I made over the weekend, and a wee pink one that I did that will be getting added onto another journal. Now I've got some sequins here that are quite kind of pastel shades, so I'm going to just use these on this particular one because it's relatively neutral. Do you ever notice how static sequins are? Especially when you're trying to do something. Right, got that held on there, and I'm just going to feed my sequin in and then twist it a bit, and that'll hold it in place. It's not, I don't need to use any other glue at this point in time. In fact, I don't think I use glue at all beyond here. Just add another sequin. It just, you know, the tightness of you winding it will hold it in place. And I like to, if I can, what I've done with the other ones that I was making was I varied the, whoa, there I go. I varied the colour of the sequins. I hope you're seeing this okay, because I'll be doing my usual and it won't be in shot or something. Right, and it holds against the fabric tight enough that it's not really an issue for you. You seeing this okay? What I'm doing here is a twist. Just shaking up the colours. I think there's maybe 4 different pastel shades here, or 5. We've got blue, a kind of lemony. I think there's a green. I'm pretty sure there is a lilac in the packet, but I don't think I've got it out. And then I'm just at the end, and I'm going to twist it round this bead again, and then just squeeze it in with my pliers to make sure the pointy sharp bits out the way. And that's basically that one done. There's not really going to be anything else apart from once I've made the bead like that. That's just a wee bit of fabric we can cut off. Once I've made the bead like that, I'll then take a wee bit, another head pin, and I've got quite a long bead here that I wanted to use as an accent. I don't know, I've got a bead cap here, but I don't know if it's going to fit with this particular bead. Right, it's okay. Right, so a bead cap at the bottom, bead cap at the top. and then fold that over. Now obviously that's way too long to bend up, so I'm going to maybe cut it, it's a bit, a thumb and a bit bigger, cut that bit off. Always watch your eyes when you're doing this. Take my round nose pliers so that you don't see the wee bit of thingy, the wire jutting out, and start turning, and then just move it till you get it reasonably tight. That'll do us there, I think. Your bead caps moving about, and then you take a little what do you call them? These wee rings. Can't remember what you refer to them as. So I don't really make. I mean, I've made wee bag charms and that in the past, but I don't do a lot of jewellery work because I don't particularly enjoy working with wires. Feed that through that hole. Feed it through this wee hole at the bottom. Use your pliers and twist them back. Whoa! This is my favourite bit, not. Right, there we go, that'll do us. And there we go, there's a wee boho bead to go into a junk journal or whatever. Cut that off. I hate it when you see these wee threads. I know some folk really like the wee threads, but they drive me nuts. Oh, there's one stuck to me. They drive me nuts. Right, so that's basically it. I'll just put a wee pin in that, and that's ready to go in a journal whenever I'm organised and I'm making 10 million boho journal. So that's that. That's your boho bead for you. Another thing somebody had asked me about was I had used little envelopes as tuck spots on the last journal. I think again it was the boho journal, and I do have dies for little envelopes, and obviously I've got my envelope punch board, but what you can do is if you've got a long piece of card, all I've done is I've die cut this at the top. This is just a piece of scrapbooking paper. I've die cut it at the top to make the top of my envelope. Fold it, it's just a long piece of card. You make it as long as you want it to be. That's going to be the bit that folds over. And just bring that up, cut it a little short of that so that it's not going to be getting in the way. Fold that over, and then you just stick the sides and you've got a wee envelope. I think on the last ones what I did was I actually used sticky tape, but that was just for convenience sake at that point in time because I'd had the tape out for something else. But you can use glue's perfectly fine. Close up your envelope. I've just got glue in my finger. And all over my wee bit mat. That's okay, I can wipe that in a minute. And that's a wee envelope. Right, I'm moving it a bit too quick because I've not made sure the sides are stuck yet. But you can obviously use that as a wee envelope for something, depending on how wide you make it. I mean, the ones I'd made, I would be lucky, in the last journal, I'd be lucky if I got a ticket in them. But they were fine as a tuck spot, just obviously glue down the bottom and the side and stick it on your book and that's you away. And you can always use a wee bit of Velcro to stick that down if you wanted to. The whole reason these had come up and why I'd made them was I'd seen a video, and I've absolutely no idea who it was that did it, but it was somebody that had used one of the great big tags. Now I've not got a big tag to hand, but I've got one of those time cards and I know they're fairly popular. Just using a wee tag here to give me my corners. Cut off your 2 corners, and that would be about the size of one of those great big tags, and you just work it the same sort of way. Fold that over, and you've got your top of your envelope. Bring that up. That's your bottom of your envelope. And I mean, you can always use something like, I've got a circle punch, bear with me, I'll dig it out. I should have had this organised. I don't have a craft room where everything's to hand. I have a craft corner in the dining room. Just say you've cut away, I'm just eyeballing this to try and get it in the middle. Whoa! I'll find that later. And glue down your sides here. Or use sticky tape, whatever's more convenient for you. And that's that. Here's my wee Dovecraft plastic kid-on bone folder. And that's it. Again, sorry, it's just because this hasn't been left long enough, it won't be stuck yet, but it means you can use that either as a little envelope or you can just use it as a wee decorative tuck again. So that's that. Here's the one with the wee fancy edging. I mean, obviously you can also use a bit of distress ink to give that a bit of definition. So that it kind of stands out a wee bit. There you go. You can also, obviously, if you're using one of those time cards or something like that, one of those big tags, you can decoupage onto that to just give it a bit more an attractive look. Either use it as a tuck or actually use it as a wee envelope. This would be easier if it was dry. It's okay now. There you go. That's that. So there you go. That's how I did my wee envelopes for that boho journal and how I do my boho beads. No great mistake, I'm afraid. It's all fairly straightforward. If it's difficult, I don't tackle it. I do. Occasionally I can sit and make a meal or something. But I do prefer things that are relatively straightforward and simple, and I'd like to think that these both are. So, anybody get any questions, give me a wee shout, and I'll speak to you again soon. I've got a couple of journals that I had hoped to upload today, but I don't think I'm going to have time because it's 4 o'clock now, and I'm going to have to be putting on dinner since it's Sunday. So thanks very much for your time, guys. Anything I can help you with, any info I can give you or advice, give me a wee shout and I'll see if I can put you on the right track. So bye bye, thank you for joining me.